All right, hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. So doing an off-schedule Saturday stream today. I'm just working and it's raining. It's a nice little spring storm, I guess, outside. So figured I'd just boot up a stream and we can get some work done here. Before I get into it, I am going to remind you that Gunforged is available for purchase. So if you want to support my work, you can do that by purchasing Gunforged, or you can wishlist it and wait for it to go on sale if you prefer that. I also have Udemy courses available for sale, so if you want to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, check those out. All those things are linked in the description below. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a couple of things. One thing I want to do is I want to, in the game here, I want to add status number effects here. So let's see here for a second. So basically, I don't know, the Viper here, the Viper applies poison, and excuse me, the Viper applies poison, and so I want to be able to show that poison stack over on the side of the enemy or the board that was affected by that poison. So I'm going to need some kind of like status effect notifier here, and I think that's going to be really helpful. So that's the thing I'm going to be working on primarily, and then we probably will design maybe a couple of new cards. I'm working my way toward building a complete game loop here, because right now the combat is working, but first of all, it's lacking a little bit of oomph, a little bit of juice, so I want to add some of that too. But also, I need to start getting an actual game loop in place where like a board can come in, I can fight it, defeat it, it goes away, and then something else happens. And I've also built this inventory system here, which allows me to store inventory items, basically. So yeah, so anyway, to recap what this game is before I go too deep. So this is a necromancer slash alchemy themed, sorry, I've got something in my throat. This is a necromancer slash alchemy themed inventory management card battler thing where you can loot these cards, and each card has a certain set of abilities, like this embalming fluid, which adds 1 stack of preserve per ritual card. And you can see that this is tagged with alchemical and ritual, and so you can see that this will affect ritual cards. You've got things like the bell, which is a ritual card. It restarts the cooldown of the most advanced enemy minion card, and so if I hover over that, I can actually see which cards it's going to affect. And then you've got your pure damage minions that will deal damage, and each of these things have turn counters that just automatically progress. And so your goal is to basically set up your game board such that it produces a maximally viable build. And you want to defeat the enemy before they defeat you. So that's basically the idea of the game. The twist here is going to be I want to allow alchemizing cards, which basically means combining 2 different cards together such that the result card gains elements of both. So you could have, let's say I mixed embalming fluid with skeleton. I could potentially get a skeleton that applies shield to me for every ritual card on the board. So that would be a way of increasing the power of a card, but also just like creating really good synergies. So that's what we're doing. And before I get into it, let's say hello. Hello, Luca. Welcome back. So yeah, the first thing I want to do though is those status effects. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go to my project settings. I'm going to go to my window here, and we're going to do window width and height override. Let's just reset that to 0. Because what I want to do is I want this. I'm going to just screenshot this here. Perfect. Put that window width. Oh, it got rid of it. Okay. I need to re-add that. Oops. Int debug add. We'll make this 1280 by 720. And then the window height, we're going to override for debug, add, 1920, 1080. Okay, let's go back into a sprite here. Okay, so I've got basically an exact representation of what this is going to look like. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save this reference, and I'm going to lock that, and then I'm going to save this in assets UI. Let's create a new folder. New folder. Alrighty, and we've got our palette loaded up. I'll just make sure that this is good to go. All right, so yeah. So essentially what I want to do is I need some text. So let's see. So our text, our font size is 9 pixels tall. So that means that I might want something like this, a 9 pixel tall icon as well. So the question now becomes, can I effectively do something like a poison icon with this? Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's go to View, Grid. Let's do 9. 9 by 9. Then I can kind of put this in the grid here. Okay, so there's my skull. Yeah, I wonder how much. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of room here, but I think that'll be fine. I kind of want to make it, well, can I make it wider? I think that's going to have to be good. That will have to be good. Always here, yes indeed. So that can be like the poison icon here. Let's do something like a preserve icon. I may actually want to change it because I'm using a shield for the preserve icon. I wonder what happens if I do. Let's see. Right now I only have, do I only have 2 status effects? I think so. I think I only have 2 status effects. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, we'll just do a shield then. We'll see if I can figure out how to draw one. That'll work. That will work. And we'll just go ahead and give it a little bit of highlighting here. That's fine. Okay, so there's our shield icon. What else? Actually, is that good? Oh, that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. I wonder if I should... No, I think this will be fine. I think it's fine. So those are the only 2 statuses we have currently. So what I'll do now is I'll take this, cut that, poison, And then this one can be called shield. I do want to try adding some text here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install soft square here. So we're going to reveal, show in file manager, install this. Okay. And then I think in Sprite, I should be able to do edit, insert text, font size 9, select font. What was it called? Oh, I think I saw it. Soft square. Here we go. Color. Let's do that one. Text. We'll just do some kind of number. We'll choose any number, any number. All right. So there we go. I'm going to put this text reference here. Nice. The text is a little bit bigger. I guess it's not that much bigger, actually. Maybe we'll do, I'm just mocking this up right now. I think that looks fine. I think what's throwing me off is that these are probably going to be spaced out a little bit more. So if I duplicate this, yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I could try something fancy like overlaying the text here and then doing like an outline. Which would be kind of cool, but I don't think I'm going to go that far. I think these numbers are just going to work. Hello, Aniki. Welcome back. Hello, Yo. So let's see. So I think that's fine. I'm gonna hide these things, and then I can do. Oh, you know what? If I want these to remain 9 by 9, I probably need to. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay. I guess I'll just take these and export these. So we're going to call this one poison. Oops. Meant to select selection there. There we go. Selection. This is shield. All right. So now we can start mocking up how this UI is going to work. So I actually don't know. Let me go to my board. Why is this not working? Board. So the health bar. Okay, so I'm going to need to probably merge. The tricky thing with this is that the orientation needs to be different. So I think that for the player, the status effects need to go on the left side of the health bar, but for the enemy, they need to go on the right side of the health bar. Does the orientation need to be different? Maybe not. Anyway, let's, I am going to create, though, maybe like a board UI scene here. So if I do a margin container, let's call this board UI scenes UI, board UI. I'm going to take this health bar and put it there. And then this margin container. Okay, so we'll have a board UI here, and then let's create a HBox container between the health bar, and we'll design it as if it's the player first. So I'll do another, let's do a VBox container. This is going to be status container. And in here, these are going to have little HBox containers with a texture rect and a label. Here, let's grab the poison. Ah, dang it. I did this wrong. Let's do this again. Shield. Poison. Oops. I'll get it right eventually. Okay, so this poison goes into there. I think that's fine. And then the label here, we'll just do a random number. The number has no significance at all. Just a random number that I chose. Actually, I don't really, that's kind of immature. I don't really like that number. Okay. So let's see. This, I don't know why there's always this. I guess it's for the, what do they call those? Where the font goes below a line. There's some kind of name for it. But there's a little bit of extra space there, which is kind of annoying because that makes it look like it's unaligned. So what I might do is, I think I can just increase the minimum size here to 10, and then set this to center. Set the filter. Vertical alignment center. Oh, it doesn't like that either, huh? Guess I have to do 11 probably. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get these top pixels aligned here. Honestly, it might look better with the bottom pixels aligned though. Now why does, oh, this is wrong. This needs to be shrink center. Ah, okay. That makes sense. There we go. Now it's aligned. Okay. This theme overrides constants. Let's do a 0 separation. Perfect. Good morning, Cheesem. Welcome back. Great to see you. How you doing? So now here's the tricky thing. We don't want this status container here to grow if the numbers are changing, because that's going to shift around the UI. So what I might do is, I'm not really expecting, you know what I might do actually? I think this is where I should use the mono. Soft square mono. So that I know that these numbers are likely never going to be higher than 2 digits. At least the way I'm thinking about the game right now. So if I use a mono font, I'll know the exact width of 2 digits. So I wonder if I should probably go to my theme and create a label override or a theme type variation. Yeah, so let's go ahead and create that. So let's do label, or let's do mono label, I guess. Add type. We're going to take the base type of label. Okay, and then the font, we're going to override that and put soft square mono inside. The font sizing is the same. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and override that too. 9. Okay, cool. So now what I can do is I can go to my label here and do my Where is it? Oh, I think did I favorite it up here? Type variation, yeah. So we're going to do a mono label. Perfect. All right, so that's going to give us equal sized glyphs here. And I'll turn this down to that. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll just set this custom minimum size to be that exact width. And so now if this goes down, it's not shifting around. Okay. Hello, Mohan. I just completed your grid-based puzzle game using C#. I learned a lot. I think it's a really good starting point for anyone coming to Godot. Thanks for creating the course. You're welcome. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that it was a good course. So yeah, thanks again. And for anyone interested, that course that Mohan is talking about is linked below. Sorry, I'm going to use your use your comment as a launching off point for advertisement, but thank you for your comment. I very much appreciate that. Super happy to hear that people enjoy the courses. Okay, so this is like a status. So I'm going to call this a status label. We're going to try to make this operate off of... signals so that it's just responding to things that are happening to the board. I think that that's going to be good. So let's go ahead and save this. Branch as scene. Scenes. UI. I should create a new folder in here called board and put the status label in there. I'm also tempted to take that board UI and move it in there as well. Okay. I'm going to try to be more organized in this project because in Gunforged, I just threw all of my UI elements into a UI folder. And it was like, not ideal. Not ideal. So I'm curious what that actually looks like in game before I go too far. Oh. I have to do some more work here first. Okay, so here's our board UI, game.ui.board. Node. Where is this actually working? Health bar, update health bar position. So there's a bunch of stuff happening in the board here. That's gonna need to change. So I'm doing a bunch of math here to reposition this thing. I'm curious. I may use an HFlow container for this. HFlow container. What is the width of this thing? 44 pixels. So if I do a HFlow container and I do a minimum size of 44, then what that gives me for free is when I need to reverse the orientation. Oh. That's dumb. So wait, do I gotta do vertical now? Change type vFlow container. Maybe that's what I need. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. So all I can do now is I can say reverse fill if I need the health bar to be on the other side. So that's going to dramatically simplify what I need to do here. Does that change the draw order, I wonder? Probably not, right? Just probably changes the positioning. Okay, anyway, so I can turn on reverse fill if I need to. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add access's unique name here. So this update positioning here, we're going to get rid of the health bar. Board UI. Board UI. That's going to create a bunch of issues. Going to get rid of... Let's move update health bar into board UI. And then this health bar.scale, I think update board UI position. Actually, that's redundant. I'm just going to say update UI position. All of this changes to board UI. On health changed, we're going to get rid of that. Put that in here. Update health bar. Health component, get health state. Let's do this. Node health component. Take all those things, put this in ready. All right, I think that'll work. And then I can take this health component and just get that out of there. This actually needs to be an export. Let's make that an export variable instead. Damage. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have removed the reference to health component. I definitely need that still. Okay. Let's fix this, why not? Okay. Oh, the other thing that I want to do is update health bar, update UI position. If not player inventory board, update UI position. If is player controlled, else. I'm going to create a public method in here. Public void flip orientation. Let's just do bool is flipped. Let's grab a reference to the vflow container. Private vflow container. Vflow container. Vflow container dot reverse fill is equal to is flipped. Board UI dot flip orientation true. This scale is going to be wrong. So when flip orientation is true, what I need to do essentially is change this. Oh, I can't change the scale now. Tricky, tricky. Because the health bar needs to be flipped too, because the highlight should be on the other side. So I may need to figure out a different way of doing that, but let's just get rid of the flip or the scale modification there. All right, let's build and let's see what happens. Firstly, I got to go into my board now. This goes away. Now I instantiate the board, board UI. It's a little bit messy, but I'll just go ahead and throw that over there for now. Board UI, health component, there, okay. Wow. So you can see how this works now. Yeah, we've got those status effects there. The numbers are a little bit big. I might try to find a smaller mono font. There's one thing I want to do here though, which is that this status container here, I'm going to add a margin container. Let's make this expand. And I just want to bring this down. So this theme overrides here. Margin top. What is that, like 6 pixels? 5 pixels? I just want to make the top of this align with the text here. There you go. Yeah, I think honestly the best thing that you can do for your UIs is just make sure you're using consistent padding and also make sure that your things are aligned in a sensible way. So I'm just aligning it here because that's kind of like where the health bar starts. The rest of that is just decoration. So yeah, so I'm aligning it there and then using consistent padding. There's really not going to be that many statuses, so I think that's probably okay. I don't need to do a bottom fill or anything. Also, all of these need to have their mouse filter set to ignore. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's see. I've got a bunch of debugger errors, but let's just take a look. That looks better. I may increase this size here. Do a 1 pixel HBox container, or yeah, HBox container padding, separation, whatever it's called. What are my errors here? Object reference not set to an instance of object. Stop opening it when I expand. 39. Right. No. Health changed update. Get health state. Why is this not working? 29. Update health bar, health component. Get health state. Is the health bar null for some reason? Maybe it's this health changed update. Get health state. No, that shouldn't be it either. Object reference not set to an instance of object. It says line 39. So right here. I don't know why that's happening. That doesn't make any sense. Could not match member health bar to any node in board UI. Are you sure about that? Health bar. Let's just go ahead and throw the unique name back on it. Maybe it got messed up. Could not match member health bar to any node. Why not? Oh, is this a wrong? Oh, it's a texture progress bar. That's why. Texture progress bar. I should increase. That's from my Godot utilities. I should probably improve that logging to say that the type has mismatched or whatever. That it found a node of that name, but the types are mismatched. That would have probably saved me some time right there. But oh well. Oh well. So let's see if this works. Obviously, these statuses don't do anything yet, but that's the next step. Okay, everything is still working, so that's good. So one thing that I want to do now is take this status label. Oh, it already is its own scene. Okay, so I'm going to load this as a placeholder. And then in here, status label, let's go ahead and add a script to this. Status label, create game.ui.board. We need to do export private texture 2D poison icon, shield icon. Okay, so now we need to know whenever a status effect gets applied. Public void set status. Oops, that's not right. Base status. That's not helpful. Private label. Poison. I'm actually wondering where this language is used. Oh, it's used in here. Get magnitude description. Poison status. I'm just going to be really lazy about it for now. Status switch. Oh wait, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, this is wrong. This label.text, all this needs to be is just status.stacks.toString. Status.icon, so this is where I need to do the switch. Switch status, or status switch rather. There we go. AI autocomplete. Cool. So we got set status in here. So now I need to be able to create new status labels and configure them. And then when the status dies, I need to be able to handle that as well. So probably where I want to do that is in my board here. I've got a status component. I need to probably add some signals in here for status applied and also remove status. So let's do this. Add signals for status applied and status removed. We'll tell the AI to do this. Hello, Vinny. Welcome. Good to see you. Do you use any kind of factory pattern in your projects? Sometimes. I'm trying to think of an example that I used that I did recently. I think I have in a couple of places, but status removed. Yeah, it would be nice to know which status got removed. The problem is that these can't be passed in. The base status cannot be part of a signal argument. What do I want to do? I could add ref counted to this to make it passable in Godot signals. Or I could just have a status applied and status removed, and then just do like kind of a brute force update by getting all the statuses and then just modifying the UI to respond to the changes. I don't think that that's a good idea. I think probably, shoot. Let's just add ref counted here. Signal name, status applied status. Okay, that'll work. So we've got two signals now for status removed and status applied. Actually, I probably want this to do this status applied signal all the time. So what this does is when I call apply status, it will check if there's already an existing status, and it will just apply stacks to the existing status. Oh, you know what? I think that's fine, actually. Tick statuses, status.execute. You know what I think? Oh, public partial class. Yeah, that's fine. Shield status, public partial. Okay. So now in here, in the board UI, we'll just pass a reference to the, status component. That AI stuff is so nice. All right. Node private placeholder. What is it called? Instance placeholder. Status label placeholder. Make sure to rename this to status label placeholder here. Status label placeholder. All right. So I probably need a map. Private dictionary, status label. Type, status type to status label. So on status applied, we're going to do label dot contains key status dot get type. We're going to create, no, not a new status label. We are going to do status label is equal to, equal to instance status label placeholder dot create instance as status label. This needs to be status container. How does it know? Is that an HBox container? Oh, it was so close. No, it's a VBox container. Not quite AI. I also need to make this unique name. Status container.add child. Status label. All right. Status label.set status status. So this should automatically update. Now here's the thing though. It also needs to update. Okay, status component. Tick statuses. Let's create another signal in here. Public delegate void status ticked event handler else ticked. There we go. So we're going to need to listen for that signal as well in the board here. Well, that's exactly right there. On status removed. Remove child, and then, yeah. Cool. I think that's correct. So on status applied, we're going to check if the key doesn't exist. We'll add it. On status removed. I guess I should do some checks in here. Yeah, that'll work. If... Okay, we'll just do some safety checks in there. So then in set status here, it should automatically set it to the stacks. So it's going to be updated when it gets added. It'll be updated when it ticks, and it will be updated when it gets removed. Yeah, cool. So let's build this again. I think there's one thing I need to do, which is assign that status component. In the board UI here. Cool, let's see what happens. We'll send the Viper out. It should add a poison stack here. Nope, it didn't work. Object reference not set to an instance of object, board UI 67. Status label placeholder, Gotta make that unique as well. Okay, I think that's fine. I just forgot to assign in here. That needs to be ignore. Hold on a second. Mouse, ignore. Okay. Poison icon. Might as well put the shield in here as well, just so I can see if that works as expected. Sweet, I got one shield. Oh, and it removed it, nice. Seems to be working. Can't add child. Oh yeah, I'm actually doing something redundant here. This add child doesn't need to be there because create instance creates and adds the child for you. So, but the status notifications or the status indicators are indeed working. Cool. Add some animations and whatnot, and it'll be fine. Sweet. All right, so that seems to be working. Incense. I need to turn this back up to 5. Keep turning it down for testing, and then I commit it, and it's like, that's not good. Okay, so we got status effects now. Just make sure I didn't do anything too stupid here. I still need to figure out how to flip the health bar. I wonder if there's a way to do that. Well, let's just see. So add status effect indicators. Okay, so board UI, this, I need this to be flipped, but I don't know if there's a way to do that. I don't even know where these are set. What in the world? Am I missing something? Oh, here. Over, under. Yeah, so these need to be flipped. I can't set the scale because it's a child of a container. Yeah, I just want this to be flipped horizontally, that's all. Well, I guess I can just ignore that for now. I'll fix that later, I suppose. I will fix that later, I suppose. Okay, so let's see. So I got those status effects working. Now I should probably be able to handle enemy board death. Or player board death. I think that's the next big thing I should probably do. I do want to improve a lot of these visuals, add some oomph and some camera shake, all that kind of good stuff. But I think I should probably get the game loop working well first. Yeah. Okay, so that'll be the next thing that we work on, is we're going to try to get that game loop going where a board can actually die, and that needs to update all the internal game state, I guess you could say. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff to consider here, but I think now is a good time to tackle that before I get too deep into developing new cards and stuff, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. First, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when I come back, we'll modify this so that the game loop is actually working, and then we'll just see where we go from there. That might take the rest of the stream. I don't know how tricky it's going to be, but maybe we'll just ask the AI to do it for me and see if it works. Anyway, I'll be back in 2 minutes. In the meantime, check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. You can purchase Gunforged, or you can purchase one of my Udemy courses. I'll be right back, and then we'll continue on with this work. All right, I'm back and I forgot to bring my drink back. Okay, 1 second. All right. Now we can go. So let's see what we got going on here. So for the game loop, if you look at my run manager, this is kind of the thing that's going to tie everything together, I think. So what I probably want to do is let's start breaking this stuff up a little bit. Let's start breaking all this stuff up a little bit. This stuff can stay. Player board center vertically. Okay, all that stuff can say. This is the stuff here that's all related to creating a new enemy board. So let's go ahead and tell the AI the highlighted lines need to be refactored such that an enemy board can be created at an unknown time. Create a method called create enemy board where all of this configuration can be done. Do not do anything else yet. I mean, this is pretty basic, but let's see. So create enemy board. Perfect. Cool. So let's go to run manager now. Let's create a new marker 2D. Let's just call enemy horizontal position. Let's get a reference to that. Node private marker 2D enemy horizontal position. Okay, add child node resource preloader. Just put a board in here. Node private resource preloader. All right. Use the resource preloader to instantiate an enemy board. Add it as a child after player board. Use enemy horizontal position to determine the X position of the enemy board and also center the board vertically. Sweet. Come on, AI, do it for me. Oh, is it done? Accept file. Is it done? So let's do instantiator free. Board. It doesn't know how to use my Godot utilities very effectively, so we'll just put that in there. Oops. And child after is not real. Oops. Relay. Real. Enemy board needs to be placed after player board in the I know how to do this. I'm just wondering if the AI knows. Move child. Yeah. Cool. Accept. Sweet. All right, let's see if it did it all correctly. I forgot to remove the enemy board here, didn't I? Okay. So just remove that node reference. What's not working in here? Populate enemy board. Oh yeah, that needs to go away. We'll call populate enemy board here. Perfect. Let's see, is this... I think those are aligned. Great, okay. Sweet. So now we've got the enemy board being able to be created on demand, which is great. So we removed all that hard-coded stuff. So this stuff can remain because we only need to register the turn manager once. Now here, clear and register executors, that's correct. Okay, so we got the enemy board being created, so I can call this whenever I want now. So now we need to be able to listen for when the enemy board has died. So let's go ahead and maybe we will connect to that here. So let's create a died signal. So create a died signal in @board that is emitted when the health component died signal is handled. Connect to this board died signal in run manager for both the player and any created enemy board. Hey, it's been a while. Welcome back, Lukey. Been keeping up with the VODs for this prototype. Looks sick so far. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback about the prototype, so I'm that's part of the reason why I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be really fun. The biggest challenge remaining really is just trying to figure out how to generate enemy boards that are compelling and of the proper difficulty. I'm going to ask the AI to write an algorithm for it, to be honest, but I'm still unsure like how I'm going to exactly accomplish that, but what is it doing? Oh, it's trying to add a stop method to the turn manager. Very interesting. Okay. Timer.stop. Okay, let's review your files here. So board died event handler, is this being emitted anywhere? Yeah, so let's do that. Well, I'll change it later. So there's a tricky thing in here too. I don't know why this is calling stop here. So we're going to reject that. Actually, that's not an appropriate way of going about this. There are some interesting things that need to happen here, but actually let's accept those. This, we're just going to make these empty methods for now. Okay. Don't use a lambda here. Create an on died signal or signal handler method. Okay, accept. So now let's see if we can get it to update some of the game logic here. So game events, where is emit combat started? Whoops. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Create a signal and corresponding static method at game events to indicate combat ended. Emit this signal in run manager whenever either the player or enemy board dies. You will also need to stop the execution of turn executor component inside of, let's just go ahead and give it this as well. Do turn tick. Any current loops should be terminated as soon as the current any asynchronous operations are done. As soon as combat ends and any synchronous operations are completed. Let's see what it does. Let's add combat ended signal to game events. Ooh, I should have staged that. Combat ended, it's adding that emit combat ended, perfect. Now let's update run manager to emit the combat ended signal. Why is it calling turn manager.stop? I don't want it to do that. Well, I guess that makes sense actually. So it's updating the turn executor component, which is good. We'll see what happens. Wow, it's really thinking, huh? Come on. There you go. Run lifecycle task. Is that right? Okay, let's take a gander at what it did here. Okay, so in Run Manager, it's calling turn manager.stop. Is that something that I want to happen on timer timeout? Yeah. No. So I'm going to need to tell it to change that. That's fine. But in game events here, that's fine. So we definitely want to keep game events. Turn executor component is combat ended, on combat ended, is combat ended equals true. So what is it doing in here? If is combat ended, return. If it is combat ended, break. Do turn tick. That's correct. Okay, yeah, that seems fine to me. I don't really like... Well, I guess that's all right. Do post cooldown tick is combat ended return. Yep. This is unnecessary. Run lifecycle tick. Where is this called? I don't think that needs to be there. Accept that. Actually, I don't need that, and I don't need that. Because that loop is automatically going to break. So if this turn tick causes the combat to end because it does fatal damage, let's say, then it will break out of that loop. So that'll be fine. Cool. Is combat ended return? I don't think that this is necessary here. The cooldown tick is never going to do anything that can end the combat, I don't think. So that's fine. Okay. So all that's good. And then in the turn executor component, using game.autoload. Okay. Now this turn manager. In turn manager. We need to listen for combat ended and prevent starting the timer at the end of on timer timeout if combat is ended. Remove the stop method and replace with logic oriented around combat ended signal from at game events. Just joined a stream question. What type of Copilot are you using? I'm using Cursor IDE with Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Actually, it's on auto right now. Let's change it to Claude. Maybe that's why I was getting weird results. I've been using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but then it switched to auto. Okay. On timer timeout. If his combat ended, return. Let's do if not timer is stopped. Okay. Perfect. Okay, accept file. Cool. So now let's go to my card. Card UI. Okay, so in at card UI, make any updates necessary to handle combat ended. Sweet, accept file, cool. And then the final thing we need to do is let's just accept all those. Let's just do queue free on the enemy board for now. And I'm gonna go to my board and I'm just going to go ahead and turn this health component down to 10. And then I'll set this up so that I beat it. And we'll see what happens. So there's my skeleton, there's that, incense, bell. Okay, begin. Let's see who wins. Oh. I queue freed the wrong thing. Oops. Queue freed the whole freaking, the whole scene, the whole game. All right, that's one way to end the combat, you know? Bell, incense. Okay. We gotta watch this all again, that's fine. So the way I have this set up is that if player turns and enemy turns execute at the same time, the player always goes first. So the player has the advantage always. Oh, very nice, look at that. Okay, so that seems to have worked. I'm not in combat anymore. I can't drag anything. So I need to re-enable dragging when combat ends. I also need to reset the player health. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's actually some... Yeah. So I'm gonna need to probably do something like kill. So I'm probably gonna need to have like a kill method in here. All right. In at board, make a publicly accessible kill method that cleans up any data, frees any cards owned by the board, and actually, Maybe I just want to make a change here. The way I have this set up is that all the cards exist on the same node, so it doesn't matter. The cards don't actually get added as a child to the board, which I think actually makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense still. I mean, I was thinking about maybe I could modify this so that the cards become children of the board, but I actually don't think that's probably a good idea. They could keep them here. Yeah. So we need to kill those though. At board inventory component. Why can't I do at board inventory component? Would be nice for fast forward feature. Yeah, I'm building the game so that you can, so that all the animations can be accelerated. And I don't see a reason why I wouldn't be able to just have like an instant resolve as well. All of that's being supported, like all the animation stuff is purely visual. So, thank you, Kevin. Good morning to you as well. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I like the visuals, how they're looking too. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Kuro Kaiden. Great to see you. All right, let's see what we got going on here. What did it do here? Get cards on board ordered by priority. Card node not equal to no. Unregister card signals. Does it need to unregister card signals? I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary. I just need to do this. Except that. I didn't tell you to add the kill method. Board inventory component. I actually don't need this. Because now what I'm going to do in here is I'm just going to do enemy board.kill. Did you do a review of how successful your last game Gunforge went? Just like an update was on a while. I'm not sure if I missed it. No, I need to re-record. I did record a video for it, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I need to re-record it. But yeah, I will be doing like a, not really a post-mortem, but just like a review of how the game performed. So yeah, that will be coming hopefully soon. Bam. Okay. So the enemy has died. There's no output issues. All those cards that were on the enemy board got freed. So now, why is this being... $262. Card background.material. So something is still being referenced here. Cannot access a disposed object. Maybe I do need this clear all cards. Wait a minute. Why would I need that? Highlight ref card. How no card mouse entered? Hold on a second. Why was that triggering disposed object? Handle card mouse entered. Register card signals only gets called if the register card signals only gets called if the card gets added to the board. I see. I don't know why that's happening. Let's go ahead and copy this error. And let's do this. After an enemy board is freed, hovering over a card produces this error. Examine board inventory, component, and board for any reasons why this error exists. Trying to access a disposed right 2D object. The board inventory component to properly unregister. I don't know why that's necessary though. Why is that necessary? Oh, opponent board. Is that the problem? Oh, where's the opponent board? Opponent board. You're an inspiration for me. You make game development feel approachable, even though it's nuts what you're doing, making it look so natural. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that. Love for the craft gets you to this level. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing stuff like this for a long time too. And I'm not even, you know, I'm not the best game developer in the world either, but yeah, it's just, I've just been doing this stuff for so long now that it's, you know, it's relatively smooth sailing to get things done that I need to get done. But yeah, I'm happy to be an inspiration. Board, get opponent board. Right. That doesn't seem right to me. I think this solution... I think the solution will break cases where I want to handle. Yeah. I should have staged changes. Okay, this is going absolutely wild. Okay, let's go back here. Stop. And go back here. After an enemy board is freed, the opponent board in board becomes invalid. Make sure to update the player board's opponent board when the enemy board is killed. Look at run manager as well. Continue and revert. Okay, let's stage these things. So the thing about working with the AI, you just gotta be diligent about staging things like one at a time. What are you doing, sir? Okay. Nope, wrong one. What am I looking for? Here. Do this update inside of Run Manager. Do not try to update any code to handle null target board instances. Really have to guide this thing sometimes. That's all we needed, thank you. Okay, I think that's all we needed anyway. I think the null target board should be handled already, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not though. Yeah, I don't know actually. Let's see what happens. So I think what was happening is that when I like hover over the bell, it's supposed to target the enemy board to highlight things, but I think that might still produce an issue when I try to hover over it. So let's see. Yeah, so now that's highlighting my own allies. And the reason is because, yeah, this target board. Let's do this then. Yeah, that's kind of a bug that I'm gonna need to figure out, but at least I fixed those errors. How is this even working, actually? How is this actually even working? Hold on a second. Oh, target board, yeah. So it's passing the target board here. So it's basically saying, target the target board. It's defaulting to use itself. So I think I need to change this. Yeah, let's go ahead and change this. So I'm going to commit what I have first. Work on combat. Let's just work on game loop, I guess. So we're gonna push that. Here though, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell it this iBoard queryable. Where is that? Okay. Let's update query board to require an explicit target board inventory reference. If the target board inventory is null, then return an empty array. So now I'm going to need to explicitly set the target board Okay, so we'll accept that. Let's just accept the whole file here. This, we're just going to return that. Okay, so now wherever this query board is called, now I need to pass in an explicit target. So in reset closest tool cooldown, there's a target. This execution context dot board inventory component. So board inventory component, this should actually be called maybe source board inventory component for clarity purposes. Yeah, and then in here, source board inventory component. Yeah, that makes much more sense. So now if this ends up being null, which it will be in the case of like there is no target board, if that ends up being null, then it will just highlight nothing. It just returns an empty array, which is probably better behavior. It's probably better to explicitly say which target board you're trying to highlight. So I think that's much nicer. So all of this highlighting is still working. That's working, that's working, this is working. Okay, so let's begin. And what I should see is that as soon as this dies, if I hover over the bell, it just shouldn't highlight anything. Hover over the bell, it doesn't highlight anything, I get no errors. All of this highlighting still works. So I need to be able to I need to re-enable drag and drop when combat is ended as well as restore the player health. So let me do this first though. Require explicit target board reference. Okay, so in card, we need to re-enable drag and drop on combat ended. Signal from @game events. Is it really that simple? Oh, very nice. All right, let's see if that works. I thought the logic was going to be a lot more complicated than that, but this is the nice thing about having those kind of game events is that as long as you're just responding to the game events that are emitted properly, like that combat started, combat ended, and as long as you're keeping your data separate from your visuals, it should be relatively easy to do things like disable and re-enable drag and drop. Boom, now I can drag things back over to my inventory. So then we want to reset the player health. So the idea is that the player health, the player health, what am I trying to say? Yeah, the player health is going to reset after every combat encounter, I think. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. And then of course there will be opportunities to increase the amount of health you have and all that good stuff. Cool. Very cool. Oh, I didn't accept that yet. Okay. Re-enable drag and drop after combat ends. Cool. All right. Well, that's going to be it for the stream this morning. I'm going to go ahead and get some lunch, but thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Very much appreciate that. Again, if you want to support my work, you can purchase Gunforged. That's available using the link in the description below. That's on Steam. So either purchase it or wishlist it or consider doing those things anyway. Very much appreciate that. And also my Udemy courses are available for sale. Those are also linked below. So thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for being here. Thank you to the VOD watchers and lurkers as well. I know you're out there. It's very much appreciated. And I will probably not do a stream tomorrow, so I'll be back Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, see you all then. Bye-bye.